Hi folks, I'm Dave Gallus, your host today, and we're here with Philip VanVeen, who's running for 2nd City Council District here in Las Cruces. Philip, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Again. This is a 10-week series, and this is our 3rd week. The first week we talked about city business and economics. Last week we talked about the homeless. Today we're going to talk about mental health and crime. So Philip,
Yes.
Crime in Las Cruces. Does the stats show that they're going up? Are they going down? Is it getting better? Is it getting safer in Las Cruces?
Well, actually, most of our crime stats have gone up here.
Have gone up.
Have gone up. Yeah.
Okay.
Our crime has been on the rise.
Okay.
Everything from burglary to larceny to you name it. There are a few areas where we may have dipped a little bit, but for the most part, overall, our crime has been on the rise. And there's some things we can do to fix that, so,
Okay,
or at least help with that.
I did do some statistics. I had to put my cheaters
Yes.
on, folks. Sorry, but overall crime in Las Cruces is 115% higher than the national average.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
scary. Las Cruces is more dangerous than 97% of all U.S. cities. You have a 1 in 17 chance of being the victim of a crime in Las Cruces.
Correct.
And the total increase in crime year to year in Las Cruces is 13%. Now, this is just information I went on the internet to find out.
Right.
The place I went to was airvibes.com, and this is a place where you can go if you want to check out for your family, maybe education, when you're going to buy a home. And then the other place is neighborhoodscout.com. Now, you have to pay for that site, but if you go on the internet, you can find out. And I'm finding that trying to get stats from Las Cruces Police Department is a hard thing to do. Now, I don't know why, but...
Well, I think a lot of that just falls into the category of where our city's at right now, and I think it boils down to, you got to remember that the chief of police, there are certain people, even our city manager is elected directly, or not elected, but they're appointed directly from the city council.
So
when we have a city council who forgets that they're not the government, that they're actually citizens and they're there to represent the people, and they think they're the government, it can have some skew on how all of that works.
And I understand that the chief of police wasn't a street officer. I heard he was more of a clerk of some type.
I heard that too, but I don't want to get into the chief of police if we can avoid that.
Sure, no offense. But
yeah, but overall, let's look at the police department overall, and I'm glad to do that. When you compare Las Cruces, now we're the 2nd largest city in the state.
Right.
Okay. 2nd largest. Our police officers are in the bottom half of pay for police officers in the state of New Mexico.
How are you going to attract good policemen?
How are you going to keep them?
Or women?
How are you going to keep them if you do have them? You know, we lose officers, we lose good officers because of where we're at on that. There are certain things that the city needs to pay for. You know, I'm one of those guys. You know me. I like a well-managed government, but there are certain things that we need to go a little bit above and pay higher on. Police is one of them. Fire is another one.
Security, absolutely.
Because without a good, solid police force and low crime, and a good fire department, we're not going to attract people here.
Right.
You know, businesses don't want to come in. Retirees don't want to come into a community with high crime.
Sure.
And if we want to attract these people to Las Cruces, then we need to have a solid base to stand on, and that's our police department and our fire department.
What's more important than security?
Not a whole lot.
I can't think of anything,
not
really.
A whole lot, right.
I went to some city council meetings, and it's almost as if when you go to city council meetings, we would pack a meeting to make a certain point, and yet, even though we packed a couple meetings to make that point, there was still a resolution sent to Santa Fe saying that they represent Las Cruces and the exactly opposite of what we wanted.
You're right.
So it's like you're not being heard.
Well, the resolutions is another thing that I think, you know, overall we need to cut a lot of that out. If it doesn't involve the city of Las Cruces, if it doesn't involve what's going on with city council for our city, I don't think that, you know, we have other representatives. The people of Las Cruces have representatives in Santa Fe. They elected them. Let them do that job.
Sure.
Let the city council concentrate on doing the job of taking care of the city of Las Cruces. That's what they were elected for. Sure. They weren't elected to try to take care of the state.
Well,
that's my opinion on it.
Sure, no, it makes sense. It's like do your job and let them do their job. Sure, I understand that. You know, I was at a meeting, the last meeting of the marijuana legalization for recreational use. And the sheriff had a lot of input from a lot of different citizens. And what I got from it was that the sheriff said that people don't understand So they're talking about legislating this business. Like you said, do your job, but don't do more than your job.
Right,
so
right.
if our city council is going to legislate legalization or make a recommendation to the state as to what Las Cruces wants, everybody seems to be confused because we don't have enough information. And yet, the one expert was a Hilda Chavez. And she is an expert in the field for 40 years in the use of not pot as smoking,
Right.
but as a medicinal use.
Right.
So that's the kind of people we need as experts to make those decisions, but to give the people the choice. And I said, why not use it in, propose it when it comes up to election time as a bill? But it's all about not listening to the people and not listening to the right people. So,
you know, the whole marijuana bill, I think that's something that really needs to be handled on a state level in Santa Fe. I think you and I actually, it's a subject you and I probably differ on a little bit on what we think should happen with marijuana. We don't necessarily need to get in that unless people want us to. I'll be glad to have that discussion if, you know, if it's something you're interested in my opinion on it. But you're right, the city and the county governments realistically don't need to have. Now, can a city say, well, if the state passed a marijuana bill, can the city say not in our city? Yeah, they can you know, step up and say that.
Well,
but you know, it's there's certain things that I think need to be handled on a state level.
Sure.
And it needs to be statewide. If we start doing like we did with minimum wage, if we did that with marijuana, where it's one city has it legal, another city doesn't, it would get really confusing really fast on everybody, and it would do nobody any good. So let's let Santa Fe handle that, and let's not, as a city government or a county government, tell Santa Fe how our people think here, because we didn't take a vote on it. Right. You know, we didn't go before the people and say, you know what, let's get your opinion. What happens is a city councilor has the influence, that talking in their ear of their special interest groups that are controlling them, and they get that talking in their ear, the special interest group. Well, that's what the people want because that's what my special interest group wants.
Right.
And that's not the way you should do it. And that's one of the reasons why I won't run with any special interest money or PACs behind me, because I want to keep a clean campaign in the sense that when this election's over, I don't have anybody telling me, look, we did you a favor, you need to do us a favor.
Wow,
you know?
That's different. Not to be controlled by the people that get you reelected with big money.
Right.
So to me, volunteers are the way to go. People that are actually out there for their own, from their heart. They're working from their heart.
Right.
Now, it doesn't seem like you need the big paying, well, maybe it's not a big paying job, city councilor, but you have a successful business.
Yes,
you're doing this because you want to help Las Cruces.
That is absolutely right, yeah.
Well, so,
and that's why I'm out there every day knocking on doors, a lot of times by myself. I don't have a paid staff, you know. This campaign is run kind of grassroots. There is no paid staff. There is no paid door knockers that we're hiring to go out knocking doors with us. There is no, even our literature, if you look at the literature for my campaign, it's very basic. I'm producing most of it myself. All of my printing is done local. Our yard signs, if you look at the banner in the background here, that yard sign is all produced right here. I don't know that it's actually produced here, but it's purchased here through a local printing company who does all of that stuff in the background. It's a little different. I don't have that national push. And so when you get flyers in the mail and you see that they're coming from somebody, look who they're paid for by, because a lot of times you'll find that they're paid for by some PAC or some other alliance group that's putting the money up for those things. Right. And remember, if that's the case, you get something like that in the mail, that group, that PAC, that alliance has the ear of that candidate, you know, going forward.
And this is money that could be coming out of the state. This could be federal money that's trying to push an agenda through. So
it could be all kinds of things. Yeah.
So
we have that.
Okay, you're shooting from the heart, and that's the kind of person I want to elect.
So well, thank you. Thank you.
There's another issue we have. We have mental health issues, and it seems, I'm not saying that mental health creates crime, creates homelessness, or vice versa, but it does seem like it could be a related issue.
It definitely contributes to homelessness, big time.
Right.
Mental health is a major issue in our area, and definitely something that we need to deal with. And we need to deal with it now. You know, 4 years ago, when the elections were taking place, mental health was a big topic for candidates running, saying, "Look, we need to fix this problem. We need to fix this problem." I can think of one in particular. That was his platform, was mental health.
Yeah, but I didn't hear anything after the election.
As soon as the elections were over, it all went away. It all died. You didn't hear any more about this mental health issue, and let's take care of this mental health. Right. And I'm telling you now, you know, if I get elected, it's not something I'm going to drop. It's something I'm going to keep running with that ball because we do need to do something about our mental health problem in Las Cruces. It's bad.
Well,
and it's part of the reason why it's bad is because we have federal funds coming in that support our tent city here. So the way that it works, the more people, the more money. So we've had actually brought in a whole lot of homeless people from other areas that are now living in tent city in Las Cruces, and we're making money off of that. And I don't agree with that philosophy. I don't think that that's right. I think that, you know, a facility like that should be a facility to help people get back on their feet.
Sure.
It should not be a long-term living condition. You read all the time about people who have been in there for 4 or 5 years, living in a tent in tent city for 4 or 5 years. It's
well, to me, tent city should be a transition
It
place.
should be a transition place.
And helping them find jobs, helping them, if they have drug issues, take care of that. There should be a drug rehab center. Do we have any of them?
No, not really. No, we have
what, hospitals?
We have the Mesilla Valley Hospital, which has drug rehab over on Delray.
Okay.
But Mesilla Valley Hospital has a limited capacity on what they can handle in there. Plus, they have their own patients that are coming in from other sources.
I mean, because homeless, you're going to have drug issues, you're going to have mental health issues. People just might need that support system to really get rolling in the right direction, find a job, apprenticeships, things like that. You know, we spent, what, $1 million from our Telshore fund, along with the $750,000, I think, from another fund, to help transition the immigrants that are coming up from Mexico and Central America.
The asylum seekers, yes.
Yeah, but, okay, and those people do need help with transitioning and move them throughout the country, which I don't necessarily agree with the idea that they're coming into our country, but that be as it may.
Right.
The thing is,
go ahead.
It's just $1 million that they're going to spend. Why not spend $1 million on our citizens? And to help with the mental health issues there. And to, I don't know what you can do with tent city, but something to...
Well, let's address this kind of going through as far as the asylum seekers go and kind of what's going on.
Okay.
I find it very disheartening because I've done a little research on this and I see the money. You know, there's a lot of money that went behind bringing these asylum seekers up to our border. I think it was done as a political strategy. I really do.
Okay.
There are other ways to seek asylum. There are legal ways to seek asylum. You can do that, you know, through a U.S. embassy. There's a whole bunch of different ways to do that. And I'm all for bringing people into the United States, immigrants, asylum seekers, especially in a situation like that. But to barrage the border and rush the border on a political move, I feel that the people who are backing this should be held responsible for the deaths of the people who died while they were traveling over here. In that it was a very unjust thing to do. Now that they're here, once they're in the United States, they do become our responsibility. We have a responsibility to these people, and a humanitarian one, and we need to do something to help these people out and help them at least integrate within our society if they qualify to be here once the qualification process is done. With that said, why haven't we been helping our own homeless this entire time? If we can put together, if Las Cruces, the city of Las Cruces can put together over $1 million in a very short amount of time to help these asylum seekers, why haven't we been putting together money like this all along to help our homeless and eradicate this problem? And by helping our homeless, I'm not talking about just taking them and putting them in homes. I'm talking about job training and placement and different things like that, putting forth the money to set up programs that help these people get back on their feet. If we would have done that a long time ago, you know, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago, if we would have started a process like this doing that, we would not have the homeless problem that we have today. And therefore, we probably wouldn't have the mental health problem because we would have by now figured out something to do with the mental health as well.
Well, that makes a whole lot of sense. Well, look, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back, folks. Stay tuned for the ending of the show with Philip VanVeen running for 2nd City Council District here in Las Cruces. See you in a minute.
Horizon Granite is here. We'll come to you to customize your kitchen and bathroom with beautiful countertops and cabinets. Find out more at horizongranite.com. Call us at 575-650-3180.
Horizon Granite is here.
It's here.
Make yourself a beautiful home.
so great and do all these different years of the plan.
Okay.
Nice.
Guys, not all, but
Hi folks, welcome back to the show. I'm Dave Gallis, your host today with Philip VanVeen, who's running for the 2nd City Council District here in Las Cruces. So we're touching on a lot of different subjects. We touched on homelessness, crime, mental health. Let's get back to the mental health issue and how it relates to the facilities we have in Las Cruces. Now Philip, I know that you have Camp Hope, which is a big facility. I don't know a whole lot about it.
Okay.
I see people transitioning in and out. I've been there for a couple Bible studies.
Okay.
I realize that people need help. They have these little like lean-tos, I guess you could say, where they live in. One side's open, and they have community showers and things like that. So they seem to be trying to help the people, but I see an awful lot of homeless around Las Cruces.
Let's get into the lean-tos first, but before I do that, I want to remind everybody that the Las Cruces City Council District 2 basically runs from Missouri Avenue south and surrounds the university. It goes over to Centennial High School, and it also takes in Mesilla Park. So that's kind of the rough idea of
Looks like the heart is New Mexico State University.
Yeah, New Mexico State University is directly in the middle of the district. Yeah.
Okay.
So lean-tos.
Lean-tos at the
I know
City of Hope.
initially there was a plan, because of weather here, of building something a little bit more structural than a lean-to. But our codes here, the way our codes are set up in Las Cruces, part of the cut the red tape thing is it limited what they can do. So that's all they were able to get away with. Otherwise, they'd be in violation of our codes.
I should describe it better.
So,
it's a building with a roof, and one side is missing.
One side is missing, right? Yeah, you can't enclose it. Otherwise, if you put that other wall on there, that last wall, or you put a door in that location, then it's I guess it's some sort of housing structure or considered a storage shed or something like that. So it falls in a little different category. I think it would be great if we could relax our codes a little bit there and build some more of like the tiny home thing, the tiny house thing going on, or even. You know what would even be better than that, honestly, is although tiny homes are cool, they're actually kind of expensive.
Are these like little log cabins or something like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, something along those lines. But we can
we
can also do small travel trailers.
Small what?
Travel trailers.
Oh, okay.
In there, and they have all the facilities and they have everything in them.
That's true. Yeah.
And if it's going to be used as temporary housing, while we help transition these people back into life, then
see, that's the whole point you were making in the first segment of the show. Temporary, and not people coming from outside of Las Cruces. Take care of the residents in Las Cruces. So
now there are a lot of good people in Las Cruces, and we're one of the most giving cities out there, I think.
Yes.
And we give a lot. Gospel Rescue Mission across the street. Is one of those organizations.
Now, both of these Gospel Rescue Mission and Camp Hope are all citizen contributions. It's all done.
Gospel Rescue Mission is.
Okay.
Camp Hope, I don't believe it is. I believe Camp Hope receives funding, government.
Oh,
funding.
that's right. You did say that because that you bring people in, you're going to get more federal money.
Right.
So,
yeah. But Gospel Rescue Mission, that's a not-for-profit organization that does that, and I'm pretty impressed with what they do out there.
Oh, it's beautiful. I was just over there the other day, and they have this beautiful chapel with a beautiful mural on the wall, and that has to be somebody that's an artist that painted that mural. And it's run by Henry and Cheryl Young.
Yes.
Boy, they do a heck of a job.
You know, they get a lot of flack out there because one of the things that they do is if you want to bed there, if you want to sleep there overnight, you want to stay in the facility, you want to eat there, you know, whatever, they do require you to do a little bit of community service at the Gospel Rescue Mission to help out, whether it be washing dishes or anything else. And they actually get a lot of
What's
flack
wrong with
about
that?
And I think that's great because it's teaching some job skills, some
Sure.
leadership, some, you know, pay your way.
And
so to speak.
responsibility.
And responsibility, yeah.
Sure. I would think that, and I have seen this in various locations, when you have this team effort, you're taking a part in the community.
Right.
And that transitions you to a point where maybe I can live in a home. Maybe I can have a relationship, you know? So, yeah, that sounds great. I see a lot of good work that they do over there, and I see a lot of contributions going in there in the form of food.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, I wonder how involved the churches are in the community. There's a lot of churches in Las Cruces.
I know that there are some churches that support them pretty well over there, but I honestly don't know. Okay. I don't know the inner workings of the Gospel Rescue Mission at all. I'm probably the wrong person to talk to about that, but so I don't know how much involvement the church has. I just know that I see what they're doing over there, and I'm pleased as a citizen to see this effort that they're making.
Well, I imagine as a city councilor, once you get on the dais, you can actually support what they're doing. You don't have to support them financially.
Right.
You can support in regulations because this is your whole theme.
Yes.
Is cut the red tape
to
allow businesses. In this case, it's a it's a facility that helps.
It's a business
people.
of people.
Boy,
it really is. It's a business
better.
of people, and it doesn't get any more important. I don't think than that aspect. Let's help our fellow man out.
I agree.
Let's help get them back on their feet. If there's somebody that's down on their luck. It could happen to any of us.
Sure.
I mean, realistically, it could happen to anyone. There's a guy here in town that I talk to all the time that used to be homeless, and now he's not anymore.
Boy, he's probably got good insights.
He's got some good insights, and I do plan on tapping that resource. I'd like to get more information from him once this election is over, and look at ways that the city can be involved with actually helping in these situations.
We can all be so close to that situation. When I was going through a divorce, it's like I didn't have anything. Luckily, my grandmother had a house, and I could stay there. But I wasn't that far away from living in a car because I had responsibilities that I had to take care of my family that I had left. Yeah. And it's like, so we can all be in that situation. It's so important that we support such institutions if they're run well.
Right.
And that's where, like you say, cutting the red tape moves city council back from the responsibility, but be a support system.
Exactly. And that's what I think a lot of people miss the boat on. A lot of people think that we need to have quote unquote big government. It's really probably not the best word to use, but we need to have this massive machine and we need to spend all this money as a city on certain things when realistically we have the people to do that. It's one of the things I'd like to see us do. I'd like to see us get back to the point that we are as citizens of Las Cruces, instead of looking at it as we're the citizens and they're the government, look at it as more of a partnership and go, okay, well, what can the government do to make the pathway possible for the citizens to take care of this problem? And let's get the citizens involved.
Well, and hopefully City Council will listen to what the citizens want.
Hopefully, yes. That's what they're supposed to do. That's their job.
I don't see a lot of people showing up for the City Council meetings. I don't see a lot of people showing up for the County Commissioners meetings unless there's something big. There's a big issue that they want to be heard on, which is a good thing. Well, but you got to stay engaged.
You know, when people go to the City Council and to the County Commission for that matter, all the time, people like yourself, I know that you've gone there quite a few times, and you keep voicing your opinions on something. You keep saying, look, we're upset with this, and you're ignored. City council just ignores you. Why should people go to the city council meetings? They get to the point that they're not going to listen to me anyway.
So you wonder
if they're listening.
Are they trying to frustrate people? The present city council I'm not impressed with. Some you can talk to, but not everybody. And it's like, okay. But the whole point is like you say, we are the employers. They are the employees.
Exactly. Yes.
They can be fired every election cycle.
But the employees are running the ship. I mean, they're running the company, so to speak. And that's what we have right now. And it's sad. To me, that's one of the saddest things and one of the main reasons I'm running.
Well, yeah. And what does an employer do when you have a problem with the business? You get rid of people that aren't doing the job right.
That's right.
So that's every election cycle. It's our chance to thin out the people that aren't doing the job for us.
Let's get the people in there that are doing it.
But people need people have a responsibility too. You folks have to get out, find out what the issues are, who's running, what their platforms are. Constantly go to the city council, county commissioners meetings. Talk to your counselors. I mean, you know, who did I run into? Reynolds. I ran into him, County Commissioner Reynolds.
Yes.
And we had issues. I argued with him on the floor. And later on, I ran into him. I said, hey, counselor. I said, he says, I know who you are.
Yes.
I said, well, you know, we differ on opinions. I said, but I just appreciate you serving. And it took him back. You know, it's like, I'm not yelling at the guy. I just want to let him know how I feel. And he gave me some insights on how the workings were with the county commissioners meetings. So it's like, it can be a give and take, but you have to have people engaged, educated, and believing that what they say is worth something. Well, we're getting down to a short time. So Philip, is there anything you'd like to close with on this show?
Well, I will say, just so people understand, at the end of the day, I think everybody, both sides, you know, whether you lean left, whether you lean right, at the end of the day, everybody wants what's best for our city. It's just how we go about getting there is the difference. So, you know, take a look at what I have to say, read my information, go to my Facebook page, VanVeen Las Cruces, and look up some information on me and see if I'm that guy, you know, that you feel you can support, because it's all down to the vote now. And the vote's important, and we don't have enough people out there actually voting too, so we need help there.
Yeah, I think we're down to like 20% or 30% at the most.
I think.
18.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how can you?
Yeah,
how can
18%.
anybody complain if there's an issue and they don't get involved, don't get engaged, don't vote? So okay, let's see. So how can people contact you if they want to help you with your campaign, or if they just want to find out more
I would
about
love
you?
the help, especially outdoor knocking. I could use some help there. So if anybody's interested, you can call me, 575-323-1477. That's one way to reach me. You can also go to my email, which is Philip, and it's one L in Philip, philipvanveen@gmail.com. You can go to my Facebook page at VanVeen Las Cruces. And those are 3 ways that you can get a hold of me. You can also, if you want to mail me a letter, you can do that. You can send it to Vote VanVeen at 510 West Amador Avenue, Las Cruces, New Mexico, 88005. That's my office and my campaign headquarters.
So, well, there's a lot of information, folks, if you want to get a hold of Philip. Next week, I don't know what quite the subject's going to be, but we'll be back again next week.
We will have a good subject next week.
Thanks for showing up.
I've got some ideas.
Okay, sounds good. See you folks next week.
I am Philip VanVeen, a candidate for Las Cruces City Council District 2, and I approve this message. Diana Rodriguez, Treasurer.